You're probably stressed out from the 8 essays you have to write that somehow all the teachers managed to schedule to be due on the same week, or you're buried under all the exams you have to study for this week. You probably already know stress isn't great for your health, but you feel like you can never get on top of all the work you have. Surprisingly, you can actually manage your stress while being awesome at the same time. So let's talk about what tricks you can have up your sleeve for dealing with stress. Warning: if you pay attention, you might end up feeling quite calm and in control of your life. So, what is stress? We can define stress as feeling as if you have too many responsibilities, too much work, but not enough time and energy to deal with everything. As a result, you feel powerless. But rather than looking at how you can reduce your responsibilities, let's look at how you can manage stress, as you will always find challenging moments in your life. When we're stressed, a common response is the fight or flight response. This reaction is triggered when we experience shock or perceive something as threatening. During fight or flight, our brains release tons of stress hormones to prepare our body to either fly away from the threat or fight it. This gives us energy and we become superhuman. You probably felt it in everyday situations, from deadlines to speaking in public or confrontational situations. The problem with being in constant fight or flight mode is we're more likely to have anxiety, memory and concentration impairment, depression, digestive problems, headaches, heart disease, sleep problems, and weight gain. It's important to recognize that stress affects how we work with others, our well being, and close relationships. In fact, long term stress is heavily related to burnout. Hopefully, you're not too scared from this info, but it's important to take stress seriously. You've been probably wondering from the beginning, how can you manage your stress? The first step to managing the stress is to understand what your triggers. Try writing your daily events in a journal and think why these situations stress you out. Next, list these events in order of their impact, which affect your health and well being most, and which affect your work and productivity. The first strategy is the action oriented approach, which is where you try to change the stressful circumstances. First, you need to understand that your workload can cause stress if you don't manage your time well. Secondly, it's also important to avoid multitasking, such as checking email, Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitch while completing your work. In fact, you can use Procrastinator to help you with reducing multitasking. Another area you can take action is with other people. By learning to be assertive, managing boundaries, and knowing how to say yes to the person but no to the task, you'll be able to avoid putting more on your plate than you can manage. The second strategy is the emotion-oriented approach. This approach is useful for when stress is caused by how you view a certain situation. For example, being overly negative can increase your stress. One handy tool for changing your perspective during stressful situations are daily affirmations and writing about what you're grateful for each day. From a fellow perfectionist, I can say I experience stress because of struggling to let go of tasks until they are done perfectly. But I've also seen friends who feel stressed because they're scared of failing. The third strategy is the acceptance-oriented approach. Sometimes we have stress from situations we have no control over, such as the COVID-19 pandemic, that leave us feeling helpless. Even in situations where we can't change the circumstances, we still have the power to manage that stress by having a good routine, which can include meditation or yoga to calm ourselves, spending time with friends, family, or a counselor, getting enough exercise and sleep, and spending. It's important to know that too much stress can cause long-term health problems and reduce your ability to focus and be your best. But if you develop your game plan from the action-oriented approach, the emotion-oriented, and the acceptance-oriented, you truly have a chance of overcoming your stress.